Hello students, today we are going over absolute value inequalities and how to solve for them, okay? So we're going to solve it, we're going to graph it, and then we're going to also put it in interval notation, okay? So here we have absolute value of 6n minus 8 is less than 14. So I'm just going to show you the way we combine it. If it's less than, which this sign is less than, think of it as less than, so it's going to be an and statement. So we're going to put it into one equation here. So I'm going to start with negative 14 is less than 6n minus 8, and that's less than 14. Okay? Then I'm going to use my problem-solving skills, and I'm going to add 8 to all three sides here, now that we have three sides of the equation. Negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6, is less than 6n, which is less than 14 plus 8 is 22. Then we're going to divide by 6, and we do all three sides divide by 6. Now, we do not switch this sign here because the 6 is what we're dividing by, and it's not negative. Whatever the numerator is, whether it's negative or positive, it doesn't matter. So, dividing by a positive number, so then we get negative 1 is less than n, which is less than, I'm going to say 11 thirds. I just divided by 2 on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to put in parentheses over here that is 3 2/3, so I know where to put it on the graph. Okay, so here's our inequality and our solution. We're going to go ahead and graph it over here. We have a negative 1, and it's an open dot because it's less than, not less than or equal to, so less ink. And then we have 3 and 4, and I'm going to put an open dot at 3 2/3. And if it's an and, generally you shade everything in between. Okay, and then in interval notation, you would put, we don't include negative 1, so it's parenthesis, and then I'm going to leave it 11 thirds. And I leave it in parentheses like that. And there you have number 1 done. Now, on the worksheet, it shows you to do 3 graphs, but you could just do 1 and you're finished with it. As long as you have it in this notation, you know it's an and because it's less than on the side. Okay, now we'll go on and do number 2. Now, this is a greater than problem, so you think about greater, you can put great or, and that'll help you remember that it's an or problem. So we're going to write it exactly as it is. Negative 8 plus 8b is greater than or equal to 40, so that's exactly the way it is without the absolute value bars. And then we're going to put negative 8 plus 8b is less than or equal to negative 40. And we're going to put an or in between here. Okay? Now we're going to solve for b. We're going to add 8 here, add 8 here. 8b is greater than or equal to 48. Divide by 8. b is greater than or equal to 6. Or, let's go ahead and solve this. Add 8 here, add 8 there. 8b is less than or equal to negative 32. Divide by 8. And b is less than or equal to negative 4. And again, I do not change my signs because it's the top number that's negative, not the bottom number, or the numerator, not the denominator. So here you have your solution. And then we graph it. And I'm going to start with less than or equal to negative 4, close dot, 6, close dot. B is less than, it's down here, greater than is up there. And then our interval notation, if it's or, it's also going to be a union. So we're going to go ahead and write it in that form. So we have negative, from this graph, negative infinity, comma, 4. And 4 is included, so it's a bracket, and we're going to unite that with bracket 6, comma, infinity. And you're done. Now I will go ahead and go do number 3 for you. Okay, so again, the things you need to remember is less than, so it's going to be it's an and, or great or, you know it's an or. So I look at this and it's greater than or equal to, so I'm going to have an or. So I get 7 minus 10k is greater than or equal to 67, or 7 minus 10k is less than or equal to negative 67. Oops, shake it up. All right, then we're gonna, okay, minus 7 from both sides, minus 7. Now, some of you try and put plus 7 here with this negative behind it. Always look and say, is that positive or negative 7? Nothing's in front, so it's a positive, and you do minus 7 on both sides. So we get negative 10k is greater than or equal to 60. Then we divide by negative 10, and we get k. Oh, we divided by negative. We got to switch the sign. Is less than or equal to negative 6. Or, now let's see what we get on this side. Okay, we'll go ahead and solve this and go minus 7 here, minus 7 here. We bring this down, negative 10k less than or equal to negative 74. Because negative 67 minus 7 is negative 74. Divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10. Hopefully with this red, yeah, you can see the red pretty good. Uh-oh, we need to switch the sign because we divided by a negative. K is greater than or equal to 7.4. Okay, all right, so we have our two solutions here, and we're going to go ahead and graph it. K is less than or equal to negative 6, closed dot, shaded to the left, or K is greater than or equal to 7.4. Okay, since it's an or, we're going to have a union, so there'll be two intervals. The union of negative infinity, comma, negative 6, and it includes 6, so it's a bracket. We're going to unite that with 7.4 bracket because it's included, and we go on to positive infinity. Okay, hopefully my hand didn't get in the way and that you were able to see that good enough. Okay, we'll go on to number 15. And here's number 15. And we've got to solve for absolute value first, and let's see where this ends up. It's less than right now, but that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be an and. So I'm going to subtract 6 here, draw my line, subtract 6. Write it out. And the plus 6 and the minus 6 go away. Then this is negative 3 times all this. Some of you students will go plus 3. Okay, don't do that. It's negative 3 times absolute value of 3 minus 2b. So I'm going to go divide by negative 3 here, divide by negative 3 there. So then I'm going to go 3 minus 2b. And guess what? I divided by a negative, so I have to switch my signs. Now it's greater than or equal to 7, so I know that it is an or problem. Okay, so I'm going to write it without the absolute value bars. 3 minus 2b is greater than or equal to 7, or 3 minus 2b is less than or equal to negative 7. Okay, now I'm going to solve for b. Oh, guess what? I divided by negative again. Do you know what that means? I switched the sign again. All right. Now let's do it over on here. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful number. Oh, I divided by negative, so I get to switch the sign again. Okay. So I have b is less than or equal to negative 2, or b is greater than or equal to 5. And then I draw my number line. Negative 2, 5. Close dots because it's or equal to. More ink here means more ink there. And it's greater than or equal to 5. Okay. And as far as my interval goes, it's going to be, and I'm going to write it up here, goes to negative infinity, comma, negative 2, bracket, because it's included, and that's a union, hopefully you can see that U, with 5, comma, positive infinity. Okay? All right, I think that gives you a really good start on doing the rest of the problems. Good luck, students. You rock!